What's up, Tampa? It is May 8th. For those of you just joining us, welcome to Tampa Talk. I am John.
And I'm Dahlia.
So what are we talking about?
Well, we've got a tragic story out of Plant City, a major loss for the USF research community, and a development in the airline industry. But first, this week in the work. What was your week like? Anything come to mind?
You know, actually, rather than anything specific in the work, I'm thinking about a conversation you and I were having, I don't know, a little while ago. We were talking about basically like the reluctance to have, like, where you wanted a big number, but you had a smaller number, or like that, basically like appreciating small steps that we're taking and iterative moves to recognize, like, there's like I think you said there's like a temptation to see like results.
Yeah.
And often that can and I mean, I think even grants and funding sources are like results first. Like, this is the thing we need to see. But really, there's something about, I don't know, posture that we have in the work that I think we were just riffing on a little bit of, just saying like, this is where like the theme of like hard work and patience comes in to go. Like, in a lot of ways, I think we're committing ourselves to a way of life, or to a ethos, or a process, committing to a process, or marrying a certain specific set of problems as opposed to any result. It's almost why I'm not crazy about even like language around solutions. Like, of course you'd like to see things fixed and solved and whatever, but orienting your work and your life around those things, I think, can be really bad. As in, like, you might not see that fruit. I think it's a lot of times how we see people burn out. And just something that I think is important for us to remember, like, a lot of times it's like, really, maybe you work with one person, but you go really deep with that person and you recognize, like, a lot of times we just don't have a long enough timeline to see like how transformation takes place. Yeah.
And I think it comes back to patience too. I mean, I know that when we joined, like when WellFed kind of started out, I remember Chris and I talking about a 3-year plan to be this full version of WellFed, right? Like commercial kitchen and all these things, right? And I actually remember getting to around 3 years and being like, okay, I feel pretty good about where we got. But in 5, and the vision shifted. Now, instead of the physical space, I wanted the truck space, which we've got. And like, I remember getting to 5 years, which is this year, and Chris did a whole like reflection on it, and we felt really happy with where we were. But that wasn't our vision 5 years ago. I mean, it's a seedling. I think had a lot of the same components, but the vision changed, right? And if we would have, 3 years in, been like, reflected on what we said in year 1, we would have failed, quote unquote.
Measuring, that's right.
Measuring our success. Then we failed, and what does that mean? You quit, right? Versus patience, shifting the prior vision. And now I look back and I'm like, this is a great success.
Well, and that's the thing is like, so it's worthwhile in early days to maybe sketch those things out, because what you're trying to do, rather than actually have a plan, is to articulate a direction or a trajectory. Then you set off in that direction without any sense of a timeline. Some things might happen quite quickly. Some things might take the rest of your life. There's this line that I always think about from Nietzsche. He says, like, I think the quote is, the essential thing in heaven and earth is that there should be a long obedience in the same direction. I love that, long obedience in the same direction. It's just like, it's trajectory. It's like where you're going. And this is actually what makes life worth living, or makes your life meaningful, is to go, I have a North Star and I'm moving in that direction. And that language of a long obedience, I think, is the right language to say, like, we're going that way.
And you know what? This is like the only quote I know, and I don't even know it in English, but it's my grandfather's favorite quote, and that's why I know it. It's Dante Alighieri from, I guess, Inferno. Is that his most famous text?
Dante's Inferno. Yeah. Okay.
But anyways, what the quote translates to is, we're not made to live like brutes. We're made to follow virtue and conscience, is the like literal translation. But the sentiment there, I think, is the same thing. Like, or what I'm pulling from it is like, it's not about the individual actions. It's about this direction that we're pointing, which is one of virtue and one of conscience, right? And that is what makes us human. It's actually not the day to day. It's the path ahead, which requires a long obedience,
Yeah. And, I don't know, this ties into, I mean, we could riff forever, and I don't think we need to do that because we want to get into the show. But like, this is where I would actually use the language of like being a pathfinder as like a map. And it's like, well, we're going that way. Like, but there's no road. I'm like, well, then you make one.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, no, we're going that way.
Yeah.
Regardless of the way things lay themselves. Oh, we don't have any resources. Doesn't matter. We're going like this is the North Star. This is the direction we're heading in. This is my moral compass points this direction. And this is the course we're charting. So if there are no clear paths or no people that have gone ahead of us, then we have to become pathfinders. Yeah. We have to find the way through that.
And it's actually very, like, if you think back, like when I talk about these social issues and having patience with them, it's because prior to us getting to social innovation and being able to like having to focus on like, where is light, where is fire, like where is, the basic things that are the things that are now basic to our society. It was very much that, right? Like you had explorers and you had Lewis and Clark going over the mountains, and like there was no paths. You charted the own things, and it was an obvious, yeah, of course. Like it doesn't exist. You make it up, right? You find the path. You do it yourself. You go over the hurdles. You climb the mountain. You sink a ship, right? Like it was when it's physical, it's an obvious, like, yeah, duh. You can't possibly know what's ahead of you. I think a human error that we have is this ego that we believe that we have the answer. And I think when you become so committed to that being the answer, you have a hard time pathfinding, right?
Yeah.
And it's a little bit less obvious in social innovation or in, when you're chasing ideas or solutions or to be as okay with the obstacles that might come in your path.
Well, but you use this image, but like, I think it's, there's these cliches, like to a hammer, everything looks like a nail kind of thing. It's like, if you're so enamored with your specific work, like if it was like, it's about the bike shop, like it's actually about none of these things, because these things are tools, right? And if the tool is the right tool, then use the tool. If you're trying to drive a screw, you need a screwdriver. But like, if you're committed to your specific tool, then that might not be the right tool for the path ahead of you, right? You have to be willing to like flex and shift and move and kind of iterative thinking and progress and moving in that direction. And there's so many good lessons in that. And like, I don't know. So for those of you listening, like, we're inviting you guys to kind of come along this journey. By the way, I would say when you're referencing these pioneers, this is one last thing I'll say, is I do think pioneer is a bit of a temperamental feature or a calling. Like some people are built that way. They're going to be explorers. They're going to brave the unknown. They're going to kind of build new things. And then you have like really important, what you'd call as like first followers, like people that are like, hey, this is interesting. We're going to kind of cut. And even like the whole bell curve thing of like adopters. But when you think about like the course we're charting and our vision for like a well-built city, like a city that works for all our neighbors, where neighbors have access to meaningful work, access to the resources they need and housing. It's like everybody wants to live in a well-built city. Like everybody. So the thing is, like, somebody's going to have to chart the course, and then some people are going to build and move. Like we're going to pathfind to this thing, to this vision. But ultimately it does make a place for those that may not already have, like, they don't have it within them, the drive to create that, but to go, I want to transfer citizenship to that city. I want to I also want to live in a city that works for everybody. It's like, so as we kind of chart that course, realizing like we may be out on our own and feel like, why isn't anyone coming or is anyone listening? But this is also the long tail thing, is like someone's going to have to go alone. And then eventually now there's a trail. Now there's a trail people could follow. Now there's a place that people could settle. And that, I don't know, I just, in some sense, like to go, hey, nothing we're talking about will happen this year.
Yeah.
In fact, it may not happen in my lifetime, but I want to spend my lifetime laying the foundation for this dream that we have, this thing that we're aiming at.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, to get into this week in Tampa history, on May 11th, 1956, Tampa Mayor Curtis Hickson was hospitalized.
He was a really popular mayor, served 4 terms. At the time, he was just in the first year of his 4th term.
And sadly, he passed away about 10 days later from the heart failure at the age of 65.
His death was a major moment in Tampa's history, and of course, his legacy lives on. A lot of you will know the name Curtis Hickson Park that is downtown and quite popular. And You say Hickston a lot.
I do say as we're reading that, I always say Hickston.
I've never pointed it out, but I'm like, when you've done events,
and
I'm
I know
like,
it's
that's not what
not.
it's called.
I know it's not, and I see it's not, but it's just Hickston.
All right, let's get into some of the news. So a lightning strike is believed to have caused a massive fire at a USF St. Pete Marine Science Lab.
Yeah, so cameras actually captured a bolt hitting the building around 3:15 p.m. just before the fire broke out.
I saw some footage of this and it was massive, massive.
Yeah, it's like our first
inside that lab, this is what makes it especially significant. Were freezers filled with rare marine samples.
And so some of the samples date back millions of years and so are, irreplaceable.
So right now, officials are still assessing the damage and trying to figure out what, if anything, can be recovered. And
beyond the research loss, this affects like the doctoral programs and like coursework that... So never great timing, but hopefully at least we're going into summer. There's a little bit of a lull and not for doctorals. Anyways, sucks to hear. And in other bad USF news, well, I guess good and bad. We're still mourning this loss of the students that passed, but they had a powerful moment of remembrance this week.
Yeah, so the university is awarding posthumous doctoral degrees to Nahida Bristy. I should know these names, but do you want to help me?
I think it's just Nahida Bristy.
Is it Nahida?
Maybe a silent H.
Nahida, okay.
Yeah.
And Zamil, these are the two students whose lives were taken.
And so at commencement, there'll be a moment of silence and 2 empty chairs with regalia placed on the floor in their honor. Which is a really nice sentiment to their family.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Especially as international students, you really come to the U.S. for this, degree, right? Like this U.S. degree, and to go back and make your communities better. It's a really huge moment of pride for a family to be able to give that to their children, and to lose them is
it's horrible. I was actually thinking, because I heard, maybe it was us, I don't know, talking about the sending, like the money that was being raised to send the bodies back because they're not from here. And it's like, man, just imagine, like, I don't know, just sending your children to another country for their education, and then they're coming back in a box. It's just horrific. It's
awful.
So bad.
Yeah, awful.
A next story is not better. Actually, I was looking at a lot of what we're covering this week, and I was like, this is a rough week. Yeah. This is just a rough week. So 4 people, including 2 young children, were killed in a homicide in Plant City.
So it included a 4-month-old, a 4-year-old, a 28-year-old mother, and a 55-year-old grandmother. Police say the incidents happened across 2 locations, and as of now, there have been no arrests made. Investigators are asking the public to check surveillance footage from early that morning for anything that might help. Pretty devastating situation. Yeah. As far as I know, they don't have any suspects. It's just horrific. Well, switching gears a little bit, this one caught a lot of people off guard at the airports. Yeah, so Spirit Airlines has shut down operations entirely. So they canceled all flights and furloughed around 17,000 employees. That includes multiple flights out of Tampa International Airport. Which includes roughly 43 outbound flights per week. So if you had any tickets, you might want to check what the airline was with. If you had travel plans, this might cause some disruption in that. By the way, I feel like there's not just a couple people that have told me they're like praying to see this happen with Spirit. It's just out of the experience. I can't say I've flown Spirit a lot, but there's another one that I went under like not too long ago. And I think Flair maybe was the name of it. Anyways, it went into St. Pete Airport. It went to Canada. That's the only reason I know about it. And my sisters lost flights on it one time. Anyways, ever since that, I'm like, you know what I'm not going to do? I'll pay $50 more. And go with like American Airlines or Delta. It was like a thing. You hear, to me, I'm like, you hear Spirit, you go, you don't want to fly that. Yeah. And well, now you can't. Yeah, now you can't. Well, let's talk about what's happening in Tampa this weekend. And it's Mother's Day weekend. So there's a lot of different events going on. So yeah. Are there? Okay. Yeah. Well, Busch Gardens Food and Wine Festival is still happening. This will be your last week to go. Yep. They've been doing that for a little while now. Actually, do we have? We do. We do have events, but they're not on the slides that are in front of us, and that's what we're struggling with. But there's some Mother's Day events happening in Tampa, so if we can find them for you, we can let you know about them. You guys should definitely hang out with your mom. That's the event I'm doing this week. I'm going to go hang out with my mom. Yeah. Don't forget about your moms. And also Sunday, people who might, I think about the fact that I had one mom, obviously, but I have a lot of women who played a role in the woman I am today. And, you know, those can all be people that you celebrate too, who, you know, played that role. But, oh, we don't have any events.
No, that's what it said. It said it's a light weekend because it's Mother's Day weekend. I don't think there's a whole lot going on. Go see your mama.
Okay. Well, go see your mom.
Yeah, go see your mama. But anyway, that's what we're talking about this week. Appreciate you guys being with us. Please do share this show with, you know, throughout socials, whatever. You can always get directly to Spotify. TampaTalk.xyz will point directly to the link on Spotify. And if you want this straight into your inbox every Friday morning at 6 a.m., wordonthestreets.xyz, you can subscribe there and it'll send you a newsletter with kind of the news stories we've covered, any extra links, and a link also directly to the podcast.
All right. Well, that's what we're talking about, everyone. Thanks for joining us. And until next time,
y'all be good.